Books for SHNOOKS. 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 Books for SHNOOKS.
Dragons Merry Christmas. Like the other dragon books that we've read together, this has two title pages. Here's one. And the other one, Dragons Merry Christmas, written and illustrated by Dav Pilkey. And next to it is a page saying, read more dragon books. And stay tuned. We might share some of these together. You never know. On the verso page, I can tell you that this story was first printed in the year 1991. And there's a dedication for Linda and Amelie Anderson. And like the other dragon books, this is a chapter book, so there's a table of contents, and it says that there are 4 chapters. It says which chapter, it tells the chapter's title, and it tells you which page to find the chapter on. And we're starting with chapter 1, The Perfect Christmas Tree. One cold morning, Dragon went out to find the perfect Christmas tree. He walked through the crunchy snow. He saw all sorts of trees, big ones, small ones, crooked ones, and straight ones. Finally, he found the most beautiful Christmas tree of all. It was not too big or too small. It was not too crooked or too straight. It was just right. Dragon looked down and saw the tree's beautiful brown trunk. It stood firm and strong in the frozen earth. He looked up and saw its beautiful green branches. They waved back and forth in the cold December wind. Dragon could not cut down such a lovely tree. Instead, he came back with colored lights, silver bells, and everything he needed to make his tree even more beautiful. That night, Dragon looked out at his Christmas tree shining in the night. It was truly perfect. Chapter 2, The Candy Wreath. One day in December, Dragon had a good idea.
I will make a wreath out of candy,
he said. Dragon took some old wire and bent it into shape. Then he taped little pieces of chocolate candy all around it. When Dragon hung his candy wreath on the wall, one of the pieces of chocolate fell off. Dragon picked it up and ate it. It was good. Dragon did not want his wreath to look bare, so he promised not to eat any more candy.
I will only eat the pieces that fall off,
he said. Dragon bumped his elbow against the wall, and 2 more pieces of candy fell off.
Whoops,
he said, gobbling them up. Dragon sat down in his chair and looked up at his candy wreath. He tried not to think about the smooth, rich, sweet, creamy, dark chocolate candy. Dragon could not sit still. He began to drool. Suddenly, Dragon could not stop himself. He shook the wreath back and forth and then jumped up and down on it until every last bit of candy had fallen off. Dragon got a tummy ache from eating so much chocolate.
Oh, next year, said Dragon, I will make my wreath out of pine cones. Oh.
Chapter 3, Mittens. Dragon was always losing his mittens. No matter how hard he tried, he could never keep track of them. Whenever he needed them most, they were nowhere to be found. So Dragon went out and bought a pair of clip-on mittens. He clipped them to his coat sleeves so he would never lose his mittens again. Then he lost his coat. Chapter 4. Merry Christmas, Dragon. Dragon loved Christmas. Every year he saved his money, and every Christmas he bought wonderful presents for himself. Dragon made a list of the things he would buy.
1. Lots of food.
2.
A new coat. 3. A big birdhouse.
Then Dragon wrapped himself up in a warm quilt and headed off to the store. When Dragon finished his Christmas shopping, the store clerk loaded everything into a big sack. On his way home, Dragon passed some raccoons singing in the street. The raccoons had no food to eat. They looked very hungry. Dragon reached into his sack and took out his big basket of food.
Merry Christmas,
said Dragon. Then he passed an old rhino shoveling her sidewalk. The rhino did not have a coat to wear. She looked very cold. Dragon reached into his sack and took out his new warm overcoat.
Merry Christmas,
said Dragon. Finally, Dragon saw 2 little birds sitting on a branch. The birds did not have a home to live in. They looked very sad. Dragon opened his big sack, took out his birdhouse, and hung it on a branch.
Merry Christmas,
said Dragon. When Dragon got home, his big sack was empty. There were no presents left for him, but Dragon did not feel sad. He went upstairs to his quiet room and crawled beneath his soft, warm quilt. And later, as he slept, Dragon dreamed he heard angels singing in the starry night. Ah. And like other Dragon chapter books that we've read together, there's some bonus stuff. It says about the author, and it has a self-portrait of Dav Pilkey, which means it's a picture he drew of himself. And it says, Dav Pilkey is the creator of the best-selling Dog Man and Captain Underpants series. He has written and illustrated many other books for young readers, including the Caldecott Honor book, The Paperboy, Dog Breath, and The Halloweener. Dav lives in the Pacific Northwest with his wife. And here it gives you more bonus material. It says, you can draw Dragon. Now, I'm not equipped to draw, so you can always get this book from the library, or you can pause the video on the pages and figure out how to draw Dragon. And on the back cover it says, Dragon cannot wait for Christmas. He hangs up his decorations. He eats sweet holiday treats, but then Dragon sees others in need. Can Dragon spread Christmas cheer? And it says, read more Dragon books. And it has other Dragon chapter books. And here's a hint. Keep watching. You might just see more of these. But for now, that is the end of that.